So this video is about why everyone hates real estate agents. Why does everyone hate real estate agents? Why are we at the top or near the top alongside politicians? I mean, let's be honest, politicians, parking attendants, officers, we're right up there. Insurance salesmen, we're right up there. Car salesmen, we're right up there. We're probably ahead of a lot of these professions. Why does everyone hate estate agents? Well, this is why there's such an opportunity, in my opinion, and I'll come on to that a bit later on. But let's just name some of the reasons. One is a lack of communication. Two is they just think you're commission hungry, you've got commission breath. You know, you're just desperate for the sale, you're desperate to get what you can. So what you do in the process is people please, tell people what you want to hear. You're a little bit lazy, you know. Selling a house, you know, what do you actually do? You just put it on Rightmove. How many times have we heard that? Oh, well, you know, you only need to put it on Rightmove and then you've sold the house. That's what people think. The other thing is you don't call people back. So the communication goes from a poor communicator to a lack of communication. Some other things. You don't make the process very easy. So there's always probably, in my opinion, most people associate moving home with a stressful experience. And in the hands of an amateur, that can be really stressful as well, especially when you don't know what's happening. So the biggest challenge, I think, for estate agents is understanding the fact that you have a very low bar of expectation from clients. Now, I think that's actually a really good thing, because if you think about it, imagine if all estate agents were just incredible at communicating. Let's imagine that their fees were higher and that people chose them not because of their fee, but because of their ability to get the best price and the best buyer for their properties. Let's imagine that estate agents were chosen because of their community service. Not because they were in prison, but because they've actually got a big heart and then they're not in it for themselves and they're not just trying to get commission. They're all about their area and giving their best amount of support to the chosen area that they work in. Let's imagine for a second that estate agents become liked. Let's imagine that people thought, actually, it's a profession where they can be trusted, and look on their Google reviews, they've got 5-star reviews here, there and everywhere. I think the industry is actually changing. I actually think that there are better estate agents now in the market than there were 20, 30 years ago. And I think it's because most estate agents that are in that top echelon have figured out the fact that people's expectations are low. I just need to exceed those expectations and deliver a service that I would expect myself. So the reason why people hate estate agents is because they've been conditioned to think they're a bunch of low-lifing, thieving, commission-hungry people that aren't actually interested in what the clients need. So when I launched Gigs & Co, and in 2011, the year before, so I launched in 2012. The year before, I spent hours, hundreds of hours, talking to people that had been involved in the process of moving home, selecting estate agents, working with agents, etc., etc. My desire was to understand what their thoughts were. One is, what would you love from your estate agent? What would you really value? What would you appreciate? The other one is, what do you hate? So I've got all the insights and I've shared them with you already. But where I thought that there was a bit of an issue in terms of setting up a brand new business. You know, what do, right? You set up a brand new business, no one's heard of you, you're launching, and all of a sudden you're trying to figure out how you're going to be successful. Well, for me, it was back to basics. When I realized, after going around 19 different estate agency offices in my previous company, going in, going out, asking for property details, doing what was called a mystery shop before I exited the business, is I realised that the basics of a estate agency had been forgotten. And that actually making someone feel that you've got the time, that you've got the attention, that you've got the presence to actually understand what it is that they're doing along their journey would make you feel like you're getting the value back from the person on the receiving end. So, 19 different estate agents. I walked in over 4 days and walked out. Going in there as a proceedable buyer, someone who was ready to buy, what was my experience in that area of London? Well, if I said to you only one estate agent offered me a cup of tea or coffee out of 19, would you be surprised? If I said to you that I was standing in some of those offices waiting for somebody just to look up and pay me some attention, or even just say, I won't be a moment, come and grab a seat. Just anything like that would have made just a little bit of a difference, a bit of eye contact. I'm talking some of the basics. This is where we would expect to be treated, right? If we were going out there selling, buying, letting, whatever it is, if we were in the marketplace, what would we expect? And are we delivering in line with that? And I think the problem is many people think estate agents, because they're in it for themselves, because they get paid commission, they're not interested in all of those variables, all of those little moments, those bits of magic that you can sprinkle on people when you come into contact with them. So when they leave, they go, wow, rather than, that was a pretty forgettable experience. So because the bar is so low, you've got the expectation to raise it up. You've got the ability to raise it up in every single interaction that you have with a client, because people don't expect it. They're not going out there going, I'm going to get a 5-star service across my journey. I expect it in the industry. Now imagine if you as a business decided to look at your customer journey today and you were to put what would wow look like across that journey, and then look at the experience that you're actually giving. What does it currently look like? On that part, from when they first register, they first phone in, to what's the response rate like? What's the interaction like? What's the service delivery like? What's the communication like? What's the information like? What are we like at asking questions? Right the way through to when they go to a viewing, they get the confirmation, they get the call, they get the, let me just check that you're seeing everything that you should be seeing in the time that you've got with us. So these are variables across the customer journey that you can control, right the way from the first contact to the moment that keys are handed over. And the reason why people are really not keen on an estate agent is because most of the journey is covered by people that don't have the experience to answer the questions. Then they may have the experience in terms of time in the business, but they don't have the experience of the particular area that they need to answer questions on. So their knowledge isn't there, their confidence isn't there to help guide people through each step. And the reason why it becomes stressful is because people don't know what they don't know. And the problem is, if people don't know or have the information, they start to worry, overthink, and then you're in a position of a lack of clarity, uncertainty. And those emotions create anxiety. And those emotions create stress. And when people are stressed, the first person to blame is you. So you've got the chance to manage expectations. You've got the chance to deliver something different compared to the rest of your market. When I started gigs in 2012, my obsession was about making sure that the interaction with our organisation was way ahead of the others. That when they come into contact with us, they remembered us. They knew that they'd met us, they'd discussed things with us, that they contacted us. Now, we haven't got that right over the years, right the way across. We've had ups, downs, lefts, right, all over the place. And my obsession now is to get those things back into my organisation so I can stand here, sit here in front of you and say, we are on the money. Now, that's an admission, because every business is work in progress, whether you're a 2 out of 10, whether you're an 8 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. But the fact that I'm aware of it means I can do something about it. Now, actually, I'm telling you now, the reviews we get would say we're amazing. But don't just judge yourself on the positive reviews. Look at the reviews that you don't get. So customer service is all about customer communication and experience. How often are you talking to people that have gone through the process with you to understand what their thoughts across the journey actually were? Do you have a system that's kind of what I would consider to be easy to communicate with, easy to give that feedback to, easy to be able to share how you really feel, or is it very rigid and fixed and it just feels like you're part of something that's not going to make a difference to that organisation? Because customers, I think most genuinely, most of us are after the kind of customers that we want to work with. So to want to work with those customers, you've got to understand what they're experiencing, what they're feeling, what they're thinking, and how you can actually improve what you do. So getting feedback managing expectations, and being obsessed around changing those experiences in your business will make you amazing. And you will go from having clients that just expect to dislike you or hate estate agents in general, to make them feel like our industry has changed one transaction at a time because of you. Every single client that you deal with can change their perception of the industry, and that's because of you. Even if their offer is not accepted, how do you go back? Even if the sale has fallen through, how do you go back? How do you help them to see the light, to see the wood through the trees? And that's what great estate agents do. They don't just hit people with bad news, they come back with solutions. And I'm telling you right now, it may sound easy, it's not easy. I've said in previous videos how difficult estate agency is, and people do not give it the credit it's worth. And in our industry, we don't value ourselves as high as we should. You know, it's shocking how much some estate agents are charging, but it's not when you see what they're delivering. So you've got a choice. You can be in the majority who probably just do what's expected, or you can be in the minority and exceed expectations. So there you have it. There's my view on why everyone hates an estate agent. And by the way, I used to have loads of friends before I was an estate agent. No, I'm only joking. That is a joke. But it is one of those careers which can divide people. But for me, it's all about the opportunity. Change your perception, which is what I've just said in the video. You've got to look at what you can do, what you can control to deliver the experience that you would expect yourself. So please add some comments into here. Like, subscribe, join my community, look for the website links. There's loads of stuff here for you, loads of tools, videos for you to go away and implement. Let me know as well what else you're finding challenging so I can help you further down the line with more videos just like this one.